Okay, Megan. I know you don't want to do this. Thank you for this. Beginning of New Year 2011, you are one of the new teachers in the hot seat for e-learning at Wakaaranga this year. I know you had a good start last year because you were working with Megan and she was helping you, or work, while I was working with her, and then she was spreading the love, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you had a Wiki last year. So if you could just tell us about how you used your Wiki or any other e-learning tool in your class last year.
Yep. Well, I started off by developing the Wiki and learning how to use the Wiki, and putting some links on the website on my Wiki for the children to use during maths time, reading time, and skills time.
Okay.
Children went on the computers in groups and did little activities.
So how many computers did you have in your class last year?
I started off with 4,
yeah,
and then ended up with 7 at the end of the year.
Okay, that sounds cool. So the work you said you put links on. So was that, would you say that it was integrated into what you were doing? But would you say it was just, were the kids actually publishing work, or were they just using the resources you'd created?
We tried to publish work at the beginning of the year on the wikis, but we found it quite difficult typing it in a Word document and then transferring it over.
Yeah.
And so we did that for the first term and then didn't find it very successful, so we used our computer time more for activities and skills and web-based things.
Right. So you kind of alluded to how successful that kind of publishing task was. So if we come back to that, because I think publishing is a pretty important part of e-learning for kids. So what modifications did you have to make for your classroom management to accommodate what you were doing last year?
I think I definitely stopped publishing on the wiki, and we tended to just publish on paper. But this year I would like to publish on the wiki and give the kids an audience.
Okay, cool. Okay, so with what you did last year, was there a discernible impact upon student learning?
Definitely. I think they were more engaged and we were able to follow on the activities from what we were doing down on the floor or what we were reading, and then they could have further learning on the computer.
I certainly know when we were down in ULearn, that was kind of the feedback that you were giving then, was the engagement thing. Yeah. Okay, so this is a loaded question really. Did the e-learning skills that you had planned, and I think the answer to this, if we think about your typing, is yes, did the e-learning skills get in the way of your intended learning outcomes?
Probably yes. There were some times where we went off on a tangent and we were so amazed by what was out there that we did.
Is that a bad thing though?
No, I don't think so. But I think sometimes you do have to stay on track and cover your learning outcomes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of we will put an e-learning tool because it looks good in front of the kids, and in fact the e-learning, mastering the e-learning tool becomes the learning, and actually the content the kids produce becomes minimal because the tool is difficult to master. So did you find any kind of examples of that?
There were some times when I found a tool and wanted to use it, and I kind of just threw it at the kids and said, have a go.
No, good for you.
Sometimes it wasn't really related to anything in class, but I was trying to synchronize or make the connections between the subject and the web tool or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, okay, all right. So if you could do the work again, how would you improve it?
I now know, or I'm beginning to manage the groups more effectively, and so they all have a time on the computer, and I'm trying to make my knowledge their knowledge, so putting things on the wiki that I find and showing them so they can use it on the wiki.
Well, there's some things we can do to help you manage that. And so, okay, coming to this year then, so what e-learning goals have you set for yourself or for your class for the coming year?
I'd like to continue learning how to manage the groups on the computer, and definitely help the gifted students who are computer whizzes who want to go ahead, and also putting more of the things that I'm finding and showing the kids more frequently on the wiki and things.
So I guess the final question then really is how do you see, or how do you regard your wiki in terms of as a teaching and learning resource?
I'm trying to synchronize it so well that it it's part of the program, so that they do an activity in their maths books and then they go on the wiki and there'll be a maths activity that's goes along with it. So yeah, I'm trying to involve the wiki as much as I can in my program.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for that, and we'll see you at the end of the year.